So let's take a few minutes in this video to talk about the next two of the five principles or foundations of economics. These two really go hand in hand, so I'm going to address them both here in this one video: trade-offs and opportunity cost. So first of all, trade-offs, not something that's foreign to most of us, right? So resources are scarce. There's not enough stuff to go around. People have to choose some things over others. One of the major resources that we have is time, right? And it's really easy to think about trade-off when we think about it in terms of time. When time is a scarce resource, you only have a certain number of hours in a day, and you have to choose what to do with those hours. Doing one thing often means you won't have the time or the resources or the energy to do something else. You have a trade-off. You have to choose one thing or another, and every time you choose one thing, you're giving up something else. Every decision, in other words, incurs a cost, something that you had to give up in order to do what you chose to do, or to buy what you chose to buy, or to go where you chose to go. Every decision you make incurs a cost, some trade-off, something you had to give up. That cost we call opportunity cost. So opportunity cost is the highest valued alternative that must be sacrificed to get something else. So the highest valued alternative, that highest valued piece, is important here to as you're thinking about opportunity cost. So you could think about, you could try to think about, if I choose to go to Disney World next week, then what have I given up in order to do that? And really, if you started listing all the other things you possibly could have done with your week next week, it's infinite, right? The overall trade-off or cost of what your choice to go to Disney World is infinite. You could have done infinitely many other things. But when we really just consider the cost of your choice to go to Disney World, really what we focus on is the highest valued alternative. So the next best thing. Don't try to think about the infinity other things you could have done. Think about the next best thing. So maybe you're taking next week to go to Disney World and you're going to miss all of your classes at school. If you had taken your entire life, all of your options for next week, and narrowed it down to two best things, then when you choose Disney World, the value of that next best thing is what we consider to be your opportunity cost. So the value of having gone to school next week instead of going to Disney World, that would be your opportunity cost of going to Disney World. The highest valued alternative that must be sacrificed in order to get something else. The best possible decision then is the one that minimizes opportunity cost, right? So if if the value to you of going to Disney World is higher than the value to you of going to school, then your best decision is to go to Disney World, because that's what minimizes your opportunity cost. If you choose to go to school, the opportunity cost, the next best thing, going to Disney World, was worth more to you. So that's not necessarily the best possible decision for you to make. And this, of course, this example is based on your personal value of going somewhere. But you can think about more concrete monetary value of taking a job at McDonald's. Means that you're working, those hours that you're working at McDonald's are hours that you couldn't have spent working at, or that you could have spent working at Burger King, right? So you're giving up working at Burger King by taking the job at McDonald's. What is the opportunity cost? It's whatever you could have made at Burger King that you're not making because you went to McDonald's instead. Um, Here's another example to think about. What's the opportunity cost of going to college? You guys are all in a college classroom. What are you giving up to be here? What was your next best alternative to be here? Another way of asking this question is, what would have been in your pocket? What actual money would have been in your pocket? What valuable things or experiences would have been in your pocket if you had not gone to college? Right? That now are not in your pocket because you did go to college. So the opportunity of cost of college, let's break this down a little bit. What we do include in the opportunity cost: tuition, money that would have been in your pocket if you hadn't gone to college, but you had to pull it out of your pocket and give it to someone else because you did go to college. Books, Again, money that would have been in your pocket that you had to pull out of your pocket. Your time, right? So time that you could have spent working somewhere and earning money, or you could have spent with your family at home, even if it's not a monetary value, strictly speaking. There's something that you value that you could have done with your time other than sitting here in a classroom. Um, these are things that you would have had to spend elsewhere if you had not chosen to spend them on college, right? Things that you don't include when you're thinking about the opportunity cost of going to college: housing and food. Why are those not part of the cost of going to college? If you go to college, you certainly do need somewhere to live and you certainly do need to eat, but these are not things that would have been in your pocket otherwise. Because even if you didn't go to college, you still need somewhere to live and you still need to eat, right? So these are sort of costs of living, not specifically costs of college. So when you're thinking about opportunity cost of a particular decision, think about, what would I have now if I had not made that choice, that I had to give up in order to make that choice, right? So the money you spent on tuition and books and the time you spent in class and studying, those are things you would have had to spend elsewhere if you had not chosen to go to college. Housing and food, you're spending that money, but that's money you would have had to spend anyway. Those aren't necessarily tied to the fact that you chose to go to college.